Hi everyone, I am Janhavi Panwar. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you people are new over here, then welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to have a better pronunciation. Now, it's obviously very important that when you're talking a language, you have the best pronunciation. Like a French person talking in Hindi with a French accent will sound really weird, and an Indian person, an Indian talking in any other language, for example in French, with a Hindi accent will sound extremely weird. So it's important to have the correct and the best pronunciation in order to sound much fluent in a language. So let's get started. Now, to have a smooth pronunciation, the first thing is you really need to focus on one accent. I think it's important that you pick up one accent, is that it can be British or it can be American, because these are the two major accents that I find like, okay, these are the accents that you can pick from in order to have a better pronunciation. So it can be British, or for example, it can be American, the one I'm talking in right now. Or if you want to talk in British, then it's going to be much sophisticated. It's going to be like, okay, so you want to learn British accent? Okay, that is going to be very easy for you. All you have to do, so that is your British accent. For American accent, it's much chill. It's much cooler, you can say. It's just my personal opinion, so don't come at me saying, oh no, these are different. No. So the first thing is pick up one single accent. So for that, what I'm gonna say, just surround yourself with these accents, surround yourself with British accent and American accent, and see which one can you understand better and which one fits with you better. So for that, watch British movies and watch American movies, and watch interviews of British people, watch interviews of American people, and whatever one you feel like, okay, this is the one that is appealing to me, so go with that one. So if that is American, then just focus on American. Do not mix up accents. I think I've seen a lot of Indians doing this, is that whenever we start talking in English, we tend to mix up British and American, both of them. Why? Because that is the kind of system we have built on. Like, for example, the Gen Z, they speak an American accent more, given the US hegemony and everything. But the millennials, they prefer British accent more. Why? Because everything that happens in our country, like legal systems and all, so everything else, and the syllabus of our chapters, our books, they're all based on Cambridge, on British accent. So there is this huge mix-up what people have to deal with, of British and American. So pick up one accent and go with that. Now, tip number 2, when you have actually decided on one accent, tip number 2 is going to be start listening to native speakers. Obviously, I think the best way and the most obvious way to improve your pronunciation is to listen to those native speakers. If you've picked up on the American accent, for example, so listen to American people, listen to American interviews, listen to native speakers of American, watch American movies, listen to American singers, listen to their songs, and then notice their pronunciation. So the more you're gonna witness, the more you're gonna encounter native speakers of American or British, the more you can learn their accent. Because up until now, you've been surrounded with the pronunciation of your language, and that's why your pronunciation is so perfect. So if you're going to surround yourself with the pronunciation of an American or a British, so your pronunciation is going to be perfect then. But it's going to take time. Consistency is the key. For example, if you're having lunch, and while having lunch, you have a habit of watching something. I think a lot of people have that. So if you have this habit of watching something, so instead of watching it in the language you're comfortable with, then start watching it in English and with the accent that you really want to improve with. So if it's British, then start watching British shows while you're having your lunch, while you're having dinner. Again, watch that British show. In the morning, if you have any sort of habit to watch anything, or in the day, watch that thing in British or American. So listen more and more. After listening, this is your tip number 3. After listening, start mimicking. Now, this is a tip that I followed when I first, was working on my accent, my American and British accent, is that I imitated them. I mimicked them so much. So when you listen to something, So for example, if you've been watching a show or a movie for 10 minutes, then stop and pause that movie over there, and whatever the dialogues were, I know you cannot remember everything and every dialogue word to word, but whatever you remember, you mimic them. They have said something, oh, for example, Janhavi said it's very important, so I'm gonna say it the same way. You pause this video right here and say it's very important. Come on, say it, say it. Good. And for British people, say it's very important. Good. Okay, so now what we are going to do after mimicking, now it obviously just mimicking and just copying accent does not make your accent perfect just like that. Now, tip number 4, I guess, is you have to learn sounds. You have to learn the phonetics of different sounds, because there are so many different sounds. There is the schwa sound, there are diphthongs, there are monophthongs, which are pronounced differently in different situations. Like a single sound is pronounced in 4 different ways, in 4 different situations, and you have to get a hold of that. So for that, you're very simply going to go on your Google, you're going to open up a phonemic chart, like a phonetic chart, and after that you're going to see, okay, so these are the sounds and this is the way we pronounce. And now the next thing you're going to do, you're going to type a word on Google or anywhere, so or on any dictionary, you can pick up any dictionary. So over there you're going to see the phonetic representation, the phonetic sound of that word, in front of it. So obviously you can pronounce it the same way. After a knowledge of the phonetic chart, it becomes very, very easy to just get yourself a hold of an accent, because that is the same thing I did. Next tip is, please record yourself and review. So once you have listened to something, then you mimic the same thing, you record yourself, and after that you listen to yourself and review, like, these are the places where I did not pronounce this word correctly, or this pronunciation was wrong. So identify that by yourself. And the last tip of this video is tongue twisters. Ta-da! Now, tongue twisters, why are tongue twisters important? Now, obviously, to get perfect in a certain accent, your tongue, it needs to be perfect. Your tongue, it needs to be flexible, because for so many years now, your tongue is fitted onto an accent and fitted onto one sound. But to get different accents, I think it's very important that your tongue is flexible, like it can move according to different sounds. For example, if I can say different, so I can also say different. And your tongue, it has to be very flexible, because for so many years now your tongue is fitted onto one accent. So you have your tongue, it should be flexible to change different sounds, to change different accents. And for that, you need tongue twisters. So why tongue twisters? Because there are going to be, okay, so Peter Patter bought some butter. So there is the P pronunciation, the B pronunciation, the T pronunciation, the glottal T, the R pronunciation, everything in one, so that your tongue can be more flexible. Because if I can say water in American accent, I can also say water in British accent, or I can also say water in British accent. So your tongue has to be flexible in that way. So follow all of these tips and you're gonna have the perfect accent or perfect pronunciation. Not just accent, a good pronunciation matters.